We're going to now talk about relationship between tables. How do you connect tables together? So this follows the database relationships that you may have had in your database class. Okay, right now we have lots of different tables in the DAX data model. So we have tables that start with the prefix DIM that refers to dimension. Like in Tableau, we had dimensions and measures, right? So these are dimensions. Dimensions will be like product category, product subcategory, sales territory, city, state, country, and that kind of stuff. Okay, so we have several of those, and then we have one table that starts with the prefix FACT, fact. Fact tables refer to tables that contain factual information about transactions. So that will be like a transaction table. So here we have a table of internet sales transactions. Okay. So now you can view the data as data view, which is this. Okay. Or you can look at it from a diagram view, which is here. So if you click that, that will take you to a diagrammatic view. So now you have one table, one box for each table, and all the fields are listed here. Yeah. And now we're going to create relationships. There are a couple of ways to create relationships, and the easiest way is to drag and drop the key. Okay, so different tables have different keys, and they operate like what is called a lookup table. So you have a detailed table, and the detailed table will look up for a lookup value from a lookup table and bring that value in logically. It really doesn't bring it physically, logically we will bring it in. So for example, if you have a table here which is dim product, this table contains all the information about each product the company sells, right? Now this product is classified into some subcategories of products. The subcategories are classified into categories of product. So right now we have a product key, then some alternative keys and so on, and then an English product name and other information relating to that product, price and name in other languages, and reorder point, list price, size, and so on and on and on. So right now we are interested in creating a hierarchy. So here is product subcategory table. Okay. Now this has information about the product subcategory. Right. Now the product table has a product subcategory key, and this one has a product subcategory key as well. So now we can relate these two by simply dragging and dropping the key. Actually, if the names are the same, okay, you don't have to worry about where you are dropping. But if the names are not same, but they are the data wise they are the same, then you have to drop it on the name where you want it to be dropped. And now you see a link is established. Okay, so here it goes this way. The arrow here indicates that the information is flowing from this table into this table. Yeah. Microsoft changed this actually. In previous versions, this arrow was pointing the other way, meaning that it was looking up to that table to bring information in. But this one is more logical, I think. So what's happening here is using this subcategory key, all of this information is now flowing into this table in a logical fashion. Yeah. All right. So now we can do one more, and that would be to bring in product category table. Okay. And now product category key. So each subcategory belongs to one product category, right? So now we can link product category table to subcategory table using the product category key. Okay. So we'll arrange it in this fashion. Now, I think it is a good idea to arrange it in a kind of, even though this is not required, I think it's a good idea to place it in a way that in the same direction as the information flow. So information is now cascading from the product category name flows into the subcategory table, and then subcategory information flows into the product category table. Okay. And of course then finally you have the fact table, which is, so internet fact sales, let's bring that in. Okay. So now the sales key, sales table has product key right there. Okay. So now link that product key into that, then that will establish a link again that's going this way. Right. So this is how you will establish relationships. And here one important point to note is that it is always one-to-many link. Okay. Think about that for a minute. It has to be like that. The lookup table cannot have multiple instances of the key. Okay. Now the key for linking the this fact table to this dimension table, what is the key? Product key. Product key is the key, right? Now in the fact table, the product key can have multiple instances because you have multiple transactions. A given product may be sold many times, right? So a given product key may appear multiple times in the fact table. But in the product table, a given product must appear only one time. If the product key appears in multiple rows, that means you have some problem there in the product table. Okay. Actually, if that is the case, the DAX system will not allow you to establish a link, because it will tell you that there is multiple instances in the lookup table. So the lookup table cannot have multiple instances of the key. Now let's look at the relationship between the product table and the subcategory. So now the subcategory key is the key linking those two tables, right? It is a subcategory key that links. In the product table, subcategory can have multiple instances because several products can belong to one subcategory, right? So this can be multiple instances here, but in the subcategory table, which is for each subcategory, you can have only one instance of subcategory key. Again, it is one-to-many. One subcategory key from the subcategory table flowing into a product table where you can have many instances of that subcategory key. Yeah. And same applies between subcategory table and category table. So for each, when you have a relationship, so there is a detail table and a lookup table. So the lookup table can have only unique instances of the key. The detail table can have many. So that is a very critical piece of information that you must keep in mind when creating relationship. So there is one more set of relationships that we can create, and that is for customers. So again, we'll build from inside out. So you have fact sales, we have customer key here, and we can have multiple instances of customer in the detail table. On the customer table, dim customer, so customer key must be unique in this table. So now you drag and drop, then that will establish your relationship. And the next is geography key. So here you need to know what's contained in the tables for you to figure out which is the detail table and which one is a lookup table. And it so happens here there are more geographical areas than sales territory. Within a sales territory there are lots of geographical areas. So geographical, the dim geography comes first. So geography key, link it that way, and then on top of that, okay, so you get the sales territory key. So sales territory key is now used to link here. Okay. So once again, remember, you arrange the tables in such a way that the arrows are flowing down into the final detail table, which is the fact table. So that way it's easier to visualize how the data is flowing. Okay. So even though it is not required, I think it is a good practice to organize it in this fashion. So, and also it tells you where the filter context will be flowing, as we will be talking about that next.